What's up? This is Arejay Hale from Halestorm, and I'm hanging right here with Here to Zen.
Hey RJ, how you going?
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Not a lot, man. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are things down there, down under?
Actually, Brisbane is wet today, believe it or not.
Wow, I'm surprised about that. That's like hearing about rain in like California. Can you hear me okay? Is
Yeah,
my microphone working or?
mine is. My boom stand's a bit boomy, probably bouncing a little bit, but we'll get that sorted.
I've got the same problem with my boom stand here.
Yep. So
But
how are
thanks a
you?
lot. Ooh, let me set the mood real quick. I got these brand new lights in my upstairs studio here. Let's see if I can set the mood. Oh yeah, it's getting real vibey now.
Yeah, mine. I've got that going on too. It's great.
And I'm also here to help people subscribe to your channel because I forgot that was still up there.
Perfect.
I'm in the studio where I film fragrance content, so I have a little, hey, don't forget to subscribe sign over here.
That's wicked. I love it. We should really get a few of those here in the home office.
Honestly, they're like $8 on Amazon, so
Perfect.
really not hard to get.
All right. So Back from the Dead is less than a year old, but as far as we're concerned here, it's probably going to be one of our albums of 2022.
Oh, killer! Right on.
Yeah. How do you
Good to
feel
hear.
that this album has changed the band's trajectory?
Sorry, I'm gonna adjust my screen here to get a little bit
Sorry.
more centered. There we go. Gotta look good for the people.
For the tune.
How has it? Well, it definitely reassured us that even after a COVID lockdown and not being present for a year and a half, as opposed to being constantly on the road and constantly build, if we're not slaying in one market, we're building in another one and constantly bouncing all around the world and just continually trying to sow seeds all over the planet. For not being able to continue that growth process, it was reassuring that people didn't completely forget about us. So, because there's always that nervous feeling like, oh man, we've been away for so long. Are people going to remember us? So yeah, it was definitely reassuring.
Yeah.
That like, okay, we may be down, but we're not out yet,
Yeah. And you're one of the only bands, well, a lot of rock bands are doing this, but that are coming out with actually a full album rather than a collection of singles. And then going, oh, look, here's all of our singles with a new cover. It's an album. Was that a conscious effort to make an old school album when you went in with Nick?
That's kind of always been our MO as a band. I think we've been around too long, and our audience that we've garnered over the past 25 years or so, I think that they're the kind of people that want to hear a full album. They want to hear a full collection of thoughts. I think it's great for newer bands now though to experiment with releasing singles, releasing EPs, and because now we live in a digital landscape. But I know that we have a lot of our fans love collecting vinyl. So so I think that I think it benefited us the most to do a full record, and it was a way for us to kind of tell a story and kind of put on display the turmoils that we had been going through internally as a band during the world being shut down. Like it was a thing that we collectively went through together, and I think it was an opportunity for us to voice our internal thoughts about the whole thing and how it affected us. And I think that was kind of therapeutically benefiting a lot of people listening to it. I hope so. Anyway, I feel like it's kind of an easy thing to relate to because we were all going through it.
Sure. Now, Lizzie is a great storyteller, and she's become almost like the unofficial spokesperson for women in rock and just and girls in general. So I want you to put the brother hat on and the bandmate hat on.
I'm used to that.
What do you think she has done in the last since the release of the album to bring women to the forefront in music more than she ever has done before?
Oh, I'd like to think that we had a hand in that. I think that's a tremendous honor. I'm just honored to be a part of it, but I can't speak for her completely. But I definitely know that she's done a great job inspiring new generations of women to want to play music. And now it's really cool that we just got to go on tour with this band called The Warning from Mexico, and they're kind of passing the torch on to inspire more women to want to get into heavier music, you know. But it's, you know, it's been it's not just us though. Like there's been a lot of bands that have been paralleled with us. I think Evanescence was a huge part of it. Evanescence was a great influence for us, like to kind of set the stage for the future of women in rock, you know, like, oh, look, a women-fronted rock band is getting tons of radio play and they're killing it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that was kind of a little extra confidence boost on us. So we will always forever thank them for that, for paving the way. And, you know, even before then, you had bands like Heart, you know, artists like Pat Benatar, like Joan Jett. And now I'm seeing the new generation. I'm seeing bands like New Year's Day and I mean, even bands of our same parallel generation, like In This Moment and God, there's so many. There's too many to count at this point. But like the Warning is another one. Oh, Plush is a really great one.
Plush.
They're like a brand new band. They're amazing.
Yep. Yeah,
you know, and it's, you know, what's cool. I'm seeing more and more women rock bands that are full lineups, like wanting to be you know, play not just inspiring women to sing in rock music, but to play guitar, play drums, play bass, you know.
Yep.
You know, so but the coolest part about the whole thing, and just seeing it, you know, firsthand from being in it for so long, is I'm seeing it from the perspective of a band person seeing the audience. And I've seen the audience morph from like 80-20 dudes to like now right down the middle. You know, like more and more girls and women are wanting to come out to rock shows and rock festivals and headbang and mosh pit and stuff like that. So it's really kind of just reassuring for the future, you know, and I think it's important to have that representation.
Now, last question on the album. So Nick Raskulinec's produced, and at the moment he seems to have the Midas touch for a lot of stuff he does. So yeah, the new Skid Row is just ridiculous. Your album, ridiculous. What does he do differently than other producers? Not that other producers are bad, but there's just something that Nick does to insert himself as part of the band, not just a producer. What is it that he brings?
Oh man. I mean, what doesn't he bring?
Yeah.
The guy is a legend. You know, it kind of pisses me off because we'll hang out together, like we'll go to shows or we'll go hang out at a bar or something, and he'll have more fans come up to him than fans come up to me. You know, it's like he's definitely kind of a local hero. I think just because he's one of those producers that isn't trying to wear all the hats. He's not trying to be the songwriter, the producer, the mixer, the everything guy. He's not trying to micromanage everything. He's so good at just providing the environment and just being a great coach. Like he's just there for when we need him. But for the most part, I think that I'll say this. I think that the one thing that Nick does that a lot of other producers lack is his ability not to overstep in the creative process, especially for a band like us who've been doing it for a while. He really lets us be us in the studio. Yep. And then he's just there for when we need him or when we hit a rut. Like he's so good at just jumping in when he needs to get in there, just to kind of like a safety bumper when you're bowling, you know, like he just kind of guides the ball towards the strike. He's really good at that. So and he's just a great coach for me too when I'm drumming or when I'm frustrated, when I'm trying to track or something. He's just really good at collaborating and helping me come up with really cool ideas. So I think he has that old school mentality and that very organic environment that he provides in the studio.
Is it true that he's the king of the air guitar and air drum in the studio to give you ideas?
Not only is he the king of air guitar and air drums, but he'll take a drumstick and he'll wave it around like a conductor's wand. Like, you know, like he just like, while we're playing, he's like in there just like getting into it, trying to get into the headspace, trying to feel it, you know? And he does. And like his energy and his presence in there brings the best stuff out of us. And I think that's why we love working with him so much. He just his sheer presence alone is inspiring to us, you know?
That's perfect. Now, you're here for the first time. I think it's going to be a little bit over 3 years when you get here early next year. I think it was late 2019, maybe was the last time you were here.
Right before the pandemic
before the lockdown.
and all that,
I was at the show in Brisbane. And you're bringing Theory, or as we know him, Theory of a Deadman, with you. Explain that package to me. And I know bands don't really select packages, but I just think this is going to be the best of both worlds for Australia to see this package.
Well, you know what? They are. We've known them for so long, and they've been like the really cool, calm, friendly, super sweetheart, like older brothers to us. You know, when we were starting out, they were nice enough to take us on tour with them, let us open up for them, and let us help kind of build our audience. And now I'm so glad we could return the favor and bring them to a market that they're still building in, you know. And well, I mean, both of us are still building in Australia. None of us are playing rooms as big as we do in the States. So, it's a really cool thing. It's like, both of us are kind of building together at the same time and helping each other out, when we're playing outside of the US. So, and I'm just excited to tour them just because they're so easygoing. They're so nice. They're Canadian, you know. They're
so
incredibly
Canadian.
nice, you know. Is it fair to say that New Zealand is the Canada of your part of the world? No.
There we go.
I've never
thought of it.
Did I strike a nerve?
No, never thought of it like that. But you might be right. You might be right. We'll have to ask. You know. As someone who has many Canadian friends, I'm now going to call them Kiwis just for the sake of
it. We call them, the Canadians, the Kiwis, the Canucks, if you want.
Canucks, yep. Now, you are a self-confessing fragrance aficionado.
I won't give it away.
You will be here in summer. What is the summer fragrances that you like to go to?
Oh, that's a good point. I thanks for reminding me. I'm gonna have to remember to bring my summer scents with me when I come down there. And I have a good plethora of summer scents with me. I'm probably going to bring Costa Azora by Tom Ford, Gentle Fluidity Silver by Mason Francis Kirkjohn, Galloway by Parfums de Marly, Rehab by Initio, maybe Silver Mountain Water by Creed, definitely Aventus by Creed, and did I mention Tonka 25 by Layla Bow? That's
no.
That I'm always going to take with me. And one of my new favorites is this one called, I'll show it to you. Pardon my pink shorts. I'm obviously not dressed for anything from the waist down. Vodka on the Rocks by Killian has become one of my all-time summer favorites. It's kind of reminiscent of Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce, but don't be scared. It doesn't smell exactly like that. It smells like what Fierce should have been. You know, it's like a very, very top shelf, much better put together Fierce with like kind of this nice ice. It doesn't smell like like vodka, but it kind of gives you the feeling, kind of recreates the overall essence of an experience of sipping a cold glass of vodka on ice, utilizing aldehydes to like kind of recreate that cold feel, but it's also got a rhubarb note in there, which is really addicting. So that's one of my go-tos right there. In fact, I was just literally before this interview, I was trying to write out my my list for my most worn of 2022 because we're kind of approaching the end of the year, and this one I think might make it either to number 1 or number 2 as my most worn summer scent this year.
Perfect. Now also,
and I took all my summer scents with me on this last summer tour, and I turned on all the other bands to like all the ones I was traveling with. So I can't wait to do the same in Australia, but I'm not going to be able to bring the full bottles. I'm going to have to take little travel decants with me.
Yep. Well, you can do your own meet and greets for like fragrance education with the other bands.
It would be really fun to experiment with something like that. I'm hoping that meet and greets come back. We're still kind of trying to be careful on tour because we don't want to get sick and we don't want to have to cancel shows. So we've had to put the hold on the meet and greets for now, but we really are planning on bringing that back like as soon as we possibly can. We really miss doing that.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of fun to incorporate those worlds together, though. Maybe that's something we could attempt to do. You know?
Exactly. Well, I will say the darkness is here at the moment, and last night any kind of social bubble went out of the window. They played the Tivoli, which is the venue you played last time with the upstairs balcony, and
Oh
Justin
yeah.
launched himself off the top of the balcony into the crowd. So COVID bubble be
I love those
damned.
guys.
Now,
Well, it is kind of reassuring. It does kind of feel like we're moving back into normal life. So
Yeah.
I feel hopeful for the future. You know,
Yeah.
I am a well, I don't even know what I am. Am I an optimist? Am I a pessimist? I'm probably a little bit of both, but I do feel optimistic about the future, hopefully.
I think it's good to be optimistic and still retain that slight amount of pessimism, because you do need to be on guard.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all right. 80-20.
True. What's that?
80-20.
80-20. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good ratio.
Also, you're really well known for your stage attire. Are we going to be bringing out any new additions for the Australian tour?
Of course, of course. I would never deprive you of that.
Perfect. Perfect. I love taking photos of you behind the kit, because there's the outfit, the drumsticks, the tricks, the drums. It's a never-ending source of entertainment for a photographer.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I've tried to bring a little pizzazz to the drum set. I think that for the majority of drummers, you have to kind of think like an athlete, because it's so physically taxing.
Yep.
But most drummers I know wear gym shorts on stage, and I'm like, I can't do that. I gotta do more than that. I just don't feel like myself. I feel like I can't perform if I'm just wearing gym clothes on stage.
That's fair. And you've been endorsed by Pearl for a long time. So what do they bring to you as the drummer?
Oh, I mean, I signed up with Pearl. I was with Ludwig for a while, but unfortunately, their artist department, they were just struggling to get me gear when I needed it. And their new Atlas hardware that they came out with was like really flimsy. And I don't really know if it was built for heavy hitting drummers. I think they obviously have such a legendary name, and it was sad for me to leave them, but I ended up going with Pearl because I knew their hardware was really, really durable. And our sound guy, our front of house engineer, had his band that he worked with before us was 10 years, who are great friends of ours. And he loved the way that Brian's Pearls sounded. He was playing Pearl. So it's kind of thanks to our front of house engineer that I got turned on to Pearl in the first place. I had known about Pearl, but I wasn't too familiar with their drums. But I knew that they made the reference series where they implemented plies of birch for smaller drums and implemented plies of mahogany for bigger drums, which made the drums very easy to tune and kind of uncompromisingly design their shells to respond with proper woods for proper tones. You know, it's kind of built for heavy hitting drummers who want their drums to sound really big and really deep and tuned very low, especially if you're using bigger drums. So I really dig the reference series, and that's the kind we've been playing just because they just sound enormous when we're playing live. In fact, we've had a lot of other sound engineers come up to our guy and say like, okay, so tell me the truth. Are you using triggers? And he's like, nope. What we do is we mic them underneath with Audix D6s, they're kick drum mics.
Yep.
So we basically mic all of our toms the exact same way we'd mic a bass drum. And it just makes the kit sound like I'm playing all bass drums. Like it just sounds monstrous. And that's the way he likes it. And that's the way it sounds amazing for us. So we experimented, and that's been our system, and we've stuck to it, and it's been working great so far. I always tell every band, like, just try it. Try miking them, take the bottom heads off, mic them from the inside. You know, you can use Beta 56s, you can use E604s by Sennheiser. We love the Audix D6s just because they have a lot of punch, but they also have a lot of bottom end. So even though I'm playing smaller drum sizes, I'm playing like a 10 and a 12-inch rack. Even still with the D6s, they sound enormous. So yeah, it's bewildering. It doesn't make sense on paper, but it works amazing for us. So that's how we do it, and it works great.
Okay, man. We will see you early 2023 with Theory of a Deadman. I can't shorten the name no matter what they want us to do. It's Theory of a Deadman and Halestorm. Australian
Toad.
tour. Yep, Toad.
Yeah.
Make sure you get back from the dead. If you don't have it, it's probably going to be in our at least top 5 for 2022.
And make sure you subscribe to Dr. Magnificent on YouTube.
Perfect.
For fragrance content. Sorry, gotta shout it out.
Well done, AJ. I will catch you in Brisbane.
All right, see you in Brizzy.
See you, man. Bye-bye.
Later.